Hey YouTube, welcome back. We're going to get into this Valentine's Day look, starting with our face, and I'm going to go ahead and prime with the NYX HD Primer Base. I'm going to let you guys know now that it is very pasty white, but don't worry, we're going to blend it out. Now I'm going to start off with this BH Cosmetics brush set that I got. I'm going to take this flat brush and just blend everything in, making sure that it's not really patchy, making sure that we have a seamless, flawless base to start with. And I want to let you guys know that a lot of people like to use a different dupe, which is the Milk of Magnesia. It works just as fine. It's a little bit more, a couple more dollars in the Milk of Magnesia, but if you want to try this product out, I definitely recommend that you definitely do so yeah, just blending this all in like I said before, making sure that I get around the hairline because we don't want that big line of demarcation on this part of our face. Now I am taking the Maybelline Fit Me Matte Poreless Foundation in the shade 334. And I'm just going to go ahead and put that on top of my face, making sure that I cover my face entirely because we're going to do a full face glam makeup look for this tutorial. Now taking that wet sponge and blending everything in where I have those nooks and crannies. So underneath my eyes, around my nose, and I know it looks funny, but you guys want to definitely stretch your face out as much as possible so that you make sure that you get every nook and cranny. You don't want any patchiness on your face around your hairline. This stuff is very essential when you're doing this portion here. I also went ahead and put this over my eyebrows as well, so that way that's added protection because I do get oily around my T-zone as well as my eyebrows. So I go ahead and make sure that I blend and pat that in very well. Now taking my NYX Precision Brow Pencil in the shade Dark Brown, and I'm just going to go ahead and carve out my eyebrows with this. So with this NYX Precision Brow Pencil, it has the pencil retractable on one end, and then it has a built-in spoolie on the other. So what I'm going to demonstrate is basically making my arc, and the way I find that is by taking the structure of my nose where my nose goes up and down to meet my brow, and I'll basically pinpoint that so that way I can make my arch around the bottom portion of my eyebrow. Once I do that, I go to the top and just follow along. I don't like my brows thin, but I don't like them too thick, so I kind of meet right in the middle and just basically follow along the lining of the bottom brow. And as soon as I see my arc, I'm just going to go ahead and curve and make that tail in. So what I like to do is fill in the ending of my brow very deeply. So that way, when I do use my spoolie, I can just blend it into that. So that way it gives it that faded effect that I like so much. And then I'll go to the other side and just repeat the same process over. This is really not hard. You just have to really look in the mirror like I'm doing and take your time. Basically, if you need to, make a unibrow. The idea is to basically be symmetrical on both sides with length as well as with width. You don't want one brow to be too thick and then the other one too small. So just take your time with this portion if this is something you're not used to doing, so that way you can make sure everything is perfect and it does not look like two caterpillars on your face. We do not like that, ladies. That is not cute, okay? Now I'm going to take my concealer. The concealer that I decided to use was the Revolution Concealer in Define. It's going to be in the shade C8. So I'm just going to start with my bottom eyebrow and just carve that out. And then I did use this to kind of put that highlight brow bone. Just highlight that area as well. I didn't use it on the entire lid. So yeah, I'm just using this to carve out my eyebrows, so that way I can have that highlighted area on my brow bone. And then I will go along the top of my eyebrows and carve it out with the same concealer. Also, once I was done carving everything out and it looked good to me, because I do have oily skin around this area, I did go in with my Revolution baking powder and the banana and set my eyebrows as well. Now, I got these iPads off of AliExpress. I'm going to try my best to find the link so that way I can link it in below if you guys are interested in using these. But these are literally like the holy grail. Like, they're so easy to use and they don't irritate your eyes. So I love to use these when I'm doing something where I'm packing my eyeshadow on. Now, this primer that I'm using is by Urban Decay. It is the primer potion for eyeshadow. I'm going to use this on my lid instead, so that way I don't have to set it with powder afterwards. I kind of believe that this is really good to use on its own when you're doing colors as well, so that way it doesn't crease up and then you have these wrinkles in your eye. So you can use this product alone and it does the job good when you put your eyeshadow colors on. Now I'm going to be using this Revolution HD Pro palette, and it has a lot of deep purples, browns, a few lighter shades like this beige colors and taupe. So the first shade I'm going to go to is this nice deep plum purple, and I'm going to deepen it with a black shade that's also in this palette. You guys know I love Revolution. I do not sleep on them. Very woke. So I do love and trust that Revolution products do work for a lot of and substitutes for a lot of these more expensive lines. So please try out this product if you like. They have a lot of different palettes that are very pigmented that I definitely want to do more reviews on. But I'm just going to go with my tapered brush and fill in where that purple needs to go, like at the arc where my eye is curving. So I'm just going to deepen that in there. And then I'll probably take that shade of black and just give it some depth just to deepen the look that I'm looking to achieve. Now I did go ahead and do my heart cut crease off camera on one side just because this one took a long process. I'm not even gonna lie, but I'm gonna go in with this Makeup Forever brush, and I believe it's going to be in the number 250. So I'm taking that as well as a nice blending brush as well. That's pretty tapered as well, and taking my concealer in LA Pro Girl. And I'm going to use that felt tip brush that I have to carve out my cut crease. And then towards the end of it, I'm going to heart shape my cut crease. So that is exactly what I'm doing right now. Taking my time. This is not a rush. Just do what you can. You just want to use this felt tip brush so that way you can make an outline. You don't want to use this to fill in the entire cut crease. That is what I have the other packing brush for. So that way I don't have to go around the edges with that packing brush and then it's not clean. So definitely if you have any type of felt tip brush at home, something that's more pinpointed, then use that to carve your heart-shaped cut crease, so that way you have the perimeter of it already down packed. You just have to fill in the rest with a different brush. So I'm just taking my time doing this, making that first side of my heart, and then I just curved it down to make the other side just as so. So yep, that's what I'm doing now. And then I'm going to go ahead and take some more product with my packing brush and just fill it all in. Now going back into the Revolution palette, I'm going to be taking that deep purple shade and the black shade, and I'm going to focus both of these colors into the inner corners of my eye. So the look that I was trying to achieve, I'm doing a 3-color blend. So this is my first color that's going to go on the heart cut crease that I'm using, and I'm just focusing it with the packing brush that I had. Now for your packing brush, you want this to be kind of small, and really you can be as messy as you want to. This is why I love the iPads that I have on, because any fallout, any dust that's going to get there is just going to fall on my iPad. So I definitely want to get that link for you guys, so you guys are able to get these pads, so that way you can use them yourselves. Next product I'm going to use is by Rhonda White Collection. She has a neon pigment, loose pigment vault, and I'm going to take this purple. It is so pigmented. I love her collection. So I'm going to go ahead and use another smaller tapered packing brush and just blend that right next to the purple shade that we use in the inner of our corners. So just lightly packing that in. And guys, I did not need to use a lot. I know a lot of people have neon loose pigments, and you have to usually use a lot of product. But with this, it was just a little dap, and it did the job. So I'm just going to go ahead in the middle of the cut crease, blend that into the purple, and drag that out to the outer area of the cut crease, where I'm going to transition my next shade. Now going back into the Revolution palette, I'm going to take this lighter shade that's in the palette and just pack that into the outer area of my heart cut crease, making sure that I blend in the colors. Now it is very important, you guys, you have to make sure your colors blend, and the way you want to do that is just by lightly tapping the demarcation line, or the line where you can definitely see the two distinct colors, and just making sure you kind of mesh that in, if that makes sense. So take your brush from the lighter shade and just kind of pat it in, so that way you have that right there. That's what you're looking for. So you want to definitely mesh those colors together, so that way it is an even blend and everything looks in good harmony. Now I'm going to go back into my neon color, that pink color that we use, and just around the edges of where I laid my first transition color, I'm just going to blend or pack right here. I'm packing it in, so that way I can go ahead with a taper brush and blend that out for the edges. So like I said, I didn't need a lot of this pigment. Just a little goes a long way. So I'm going to take this taper brush and just blend out the edges where I had that neon pigment, so that way it blends out well with this purple shade. Taking this Stila liquid glitter eyeliner, and I'm going to go around the edges of my hard cut crease. Now for this one, I did use an applicator that I got off of AliExpress, so I'll also leave that link below. Make sure you guys, when you're doing people's makeup, that you have plenty of applicators, okay? Don't waste all your brushes doing it, because sometimes your brushes get worn out, you have to dispose of them. So yes, like I was saying, I'm going to take this pink glitter eyeliner and just go around the edges of my hard cut crease. This was really shimmering, and I love Stila. Their eyeliners are like the best. Now I'm going to go back under my eyes and just fill that in with the eyeshadow. So I'm taking that same black and purple shade, mixing those together, and just going underneath my waterline, so that way I have depth to that. And then on top of that, I am going to add that neon purple pigment underneath that shadow color, so that way it just pops even more. Now I am taking my Better Than Love mascara, and I'm going to go to my bottom lashes and just deepen those, making sure that they pop when I do take pictures and they show in the video, because you don't want to have these lashes on and then your bottom lashes aren't showing anything. So I'm just going underneath that and deepening that in. And this is like my second favorite mascara. They usually have the Better Than Sex, but they just came out with this one, and I love it so much. So if you want to look into this product, it's called the Better Than Love mascara. Now I'm going to be using some Kiss lashes in 01. I forgot the name for them, but I'm using the dual adhesive gel, or excuse me, glue, to adhere those to my eyelashes. And then I'll take my finger and blend those in with my real lashes. Moving on to contouring my face, I'm taking that concealer by Revolution in C8 and just going ahead and highlighting my areas that I do love to highlight on my face. So the bridge of my nose, underneath my eyes. Now something I did differently is highlight my bottom cheek area. So that way when I do pop in my darker shade of contour, it will just give me that dimension in my face, so it looks like my face is more chiseled and strong in bone structure. Now I am taking this Cover FX contour palette in medium to dark, I believe. And I'm going to just take that and pop that into my cheek area, so that way I have that chiseledness and that sharp look around the perimeter of my face, around my chin area, and along the bridges of my nose as well, so that way my nose is snatched. Now, I didn't just use a darker shade of contour. I did go in with a deeper shade of tan. And then I went underneath that tan and added that dark brown. So that way it's just a more flawless, seamless contour blend. Now I'm just going ahead and blending out my contour, making sure that that is good and seamless, because as you can see, you can definitely see where I have the highlighted area in my contour. So I'm just going to mesh that together, like I said before, blending it up and down till I cannot see a distinctive line. And I'm just going to take my blending sponge along the bridges of my nose, so that way I don't use a brush. Usually when you're blending your nose, you want to make sure that you keep everything intact. You don't want to brush, to just mess it all up. So that way you can't really see the snatchness of the nose. So I'm taking that edge of that sponge and just blending up and down into my contour, so that way it is very nice and snatched. Now, taking that Revolution Banana setting powder, I'm just going to go ahead and make sure the spots of my face that I did highlight, I'm just going to go ahead and set those now, so that way everything is in place with my face. And then while I am baking, I'm just going to go ahead and take my matte lip gloss. I forgot the shade, but it's from the new collection, and it's a nice nude mauve color. And then on top of that, I will take the ColourPop matte lipstick on top of that, and just focus on the inner part of my lips, so that way that is blended in. I didn't do a topper on top. I kind of just let that be, because the MAC lip gloss is pretty shiny on its own, so I didn't need to go in and change anything with that. So kind of like a toner, and it just lasts all day. I really have been asleep on MAC, so you're going to see me using more MAC products for sure. And then I'm going to fan everything away. And voila, you guys. If you guys want to definitely get into this look, please follow the steps that I'm giving you. Like, you can't go wrong with this. You just have to take your time. And this video was longer than my regular videos, but with the eye look, it did take a little bit more time than usual. So like I said, take your time. It's not a race. Do what you feel comfortable doing and use the products and the brushes that you think you are going to be able to use to achieve this look. But in the meantime, you guys subscribe, like my channel. I love you guys so much. And until next time, bye.